In this lesson, we're going to learn how to make a directory. A directory is something that would be used for a business directory or maybe a members listing inside of your site. To add a directory, first you'll want to be logged into the Goozmo system. Then you'll want to go to the Page and Content Director. Once you're in the Page and Content Director, you can add a directory under Add Content. Click on Directory. You'll get a pop-up window asking you to name your directory. For this example, let's say we were making a business directory. Once you're ready to add and edit, click Add and Edit. Now we have added the directory and we are in the back end editing it. First, you'll want to post your first entry. To do so, click on the button that says Post Entry. You'll get a pop-up window that'll ask you to fill in the fields about your entry. So again, for this example, we're making a business directory. So you would want to give this a name, such as your business. You can give it an address. And all of these fields you do not have to fill out if it's not applicable to the entry that you are entering. Once you've filled out all the information on this tab, you'll need to go to the next tab. The next tab is Description. Here you can give a little description about the business or whatever listing you're entering. Next, you can add an image by clicking on the Image/File tab. So if you wanted to add an image, you could add an image, like a logo of the business. Also, you could add a file here. So if you were making a directory that would be some sort of file archive, it's easy on every entry that you could add a file, such as a PDF, to that entry for your users to download. The next tab is Category. You can categorize your businesses in the directory, or if you're not doing this for businesses, you could categorize your listings in there. To add a category, first click New. You'll have to give that category a name. Okay, so now we have added the category Food Industry to this business listing. Next, you could add a subcategory. So under Food Industry, we might write something a little bit more specific, such as bakery. So I'll add a new subcategory by clicking New, typing it in, and then clicking Save. Now, the subcategory Bakery is added to our entry. We've gone through all the tabs here in the Add Entry box. So I'm going to go ahead and click Save. Now we have our first business listing in our business directory. We can preview the business directory by first clicking Save Changes to save the changes we made, and then previewing by clicking Preview. So now you can see the business directory that we made. You'll see that it's in a list view, so this is showing in the list. We could also change it to a grid view to show in a grid. And you can see now over here on the left side, we have a category of Food Industry and a subcategory of Bakery. Also, it's showing the city, the state, the zip code, and the country as categories. We can change what it shows here in the sidebar based on our settings. So let's go ahead and go back into Edit this directory and change those settings. So first you'll click on Edit Page, and now we're back in the back end of the directory. So we'll want to change the settings on the directory. To do that, go to the tab here at the top that says Settings. You can choose a color scheme for your overall directory. So let's go ahead and choose a nice color for the directory there. Choose a dark red. Say OK. First, you'll want to click this arrow to get all the options for view options. The default view now is a list view. We could change this to a grid view. I'm going to go ahead and do that. That means that your users by default will see the grid view when visiting your directory. Image size, you can have it be regular or large. I'm going to keep it as regular. Image dimension can be uniform so that they all are the same, or you can keep it as the original dimension. Most likely you haven't gone through and cropped all your pictures to be the same size, so I suggest using uniform dimension. Under that, you can crop your image however you like when it's showing in the view. Center is usually the best because it gets that middle part, but you can also have it cropped to the top center, top left, top right, top bottom, bottom right. Under what data would you like to display? You can see here all of the boxes are checked to show all of this data. I didn't enter a fax in for any of our business directories here, so I'm just going to uncheck fax, but all of the other data I would like to display, so I'm going to keep those checked. Now that we're done with the view options, I can toggle this back up. And now we can go to the next section, sidebar. I'll click this little arrow to get all those options toggled down. The first option is where do you want to show the sidebar? We saw the sidebar on the left when we previewed, so I'm going to go ahead and keep that sidebar on the right this time. Show result totals, I'm going to keep this as yes because based on how many entries you have in a certain category, it'll show totals for that. Show results for category, subcategory, city, state, zip code, and country. These are all things that show in the sidebar. I'm going to go ahead and uncheck country. I'm going to go ahead and uncheck zip code and also state. This is because I'm assuming that the hypothetical business directory we are making here is all within Colorado, so you don't need the state or the zip code or the country there. But the city is good, and the subcategory and category, now just those three things will show in the sidebar. The next area, show alphabet sort, yes or no. I'm going to keep this to yes so we could sort it alphabetically. And you'll see that in the sidebar. Show sidebar search. If checked, the sidebar will show a search field to search the directory. I'm going to go ahead and keep this checked so that people could search in the directory. Now I can click this arrow to toggle that section back up. Moving on in the settings, labels is next. Under labels, you can change the name of any preset label. So here, if we wanted to change one of these preset labels to different, so let's say if I didn't want to have fax as one of the options here, I could have business type as a different label. So now, when filling out that, if I had filled out the fax area, it'll show as business type instead. So I'm going to toggle this back up. Entry header. Here you can set what will be the entry header. So you can have the name or the company be the entry header. I'm going to choose company since we're making a business directory here. The next area is entry view options. I'm going to click this arrow to get those options. It asks, would you like to show the map? Yes or no. Here, this is good for a business directory in that if I have this checked to yes, it will show a map of the address that we provide in the listing. Show share button. If yes, you can share. This is very good because you can quickly have your users add it to Facebook or their blog or other social media integration. Show all linked events. Here it will link your calendar from past events and upcoming events. I'm going to keep this unchecked since we don't have a calendar connected to this. What data would you like to display in the more info area? I'm going to keep everything here checked. And since we filled out the entry view options, I'm going to go ahead and toggle that back up. And going on down, the next area is comments. Comments. You can allow visitors to comment on your entries. So if you do allow comments, you can hit yes here. Allow rating allows your users to be able to rate your directory. Also, you can require the user to be logged in so that they would have to have a username and password in order to allow the rating. I'm going to keep this as no because I don't want to limit my comments just to people who are willing to make a username and password. The next area, Do comments have to be approved before it goes public? This is a big one. I'm going to keep this as yes because I definitely want to read the comments that are being placed on my directory before they get published live to the site. So I'm going to keep that as yes so I can view those comments before they get published. So now we're done with that area. I'm going to toggle it back up. The next is user settings. User settings, you can see here, will users be allowed to post entries, yes or no? I'm going to keep this as yes, so that people could add to the business listing. Do they have to create an account to post? And I'm going to go ahead and keep this as no. Don't want to limit that to people who have to create an account. Post approval, will posts need to be approved before they go public? I'm going to say yes, definitely, because I would want to see if the business is legitimate. Post images, can they post images along with it? I'm going to go ahead and change this to no. I don't want them posting their own images. Post files, can posts contain files? And I'm going to keep this as no as well. I don't want them adding files to my site. And here are the fields that would be allowed for posting. So I'm going to go ahead and uncheck category and subcategory. That's something that I could choose on my own, and then that way all they would have to fill out is the address information, email, and website. Here you can add an email address to notify you when somebody has posted on your directory. So I'm going to go ahead and add my email address here to let me know when somebody has posted on my business directory. Now I can toggle that section back up. The next is description, and last, here you can add a description about your directory if you would like. Then when you're done with the top description, you can decide if you want to put a bottom description in. I'm just going to copy what I have in the top description and paste it in the bottom description so you can see where that goes. And now that I have filled out all the settings, I'm going to save changes. Then I'm going to go ahead and preview. And now you will see all of the changes that we made to the setting. First of all, you'll notice that that red color scheme is coming through. We have the top and bottom description showing. Our default view is set to a grid view. Also, you'll notice that the sidebar is now on the right side of the screen. We also have the alphabetical sort. Also, you can see the categories, food, industry, and the subcategory bakery, and also the city. And remember, those are the three things that I wanted to show in the sidebar. And now I can add as many entries as I would like now that I got my directory set up the way that I wanted to. So in order to add another entry, again, I would just go to Edit Page, Post Entry. Here I can start filling out all the necessary fields. And you'll see here, you'll notice that instead of facts, now we have the option, the label here for business type. And that's what I changed in the backend settings there. So the business type here would be web design firm. Next area is the description. Next, you'll want to you'll want to add an image. Now the preview is showing. Next area is category. This business wouldn't go under food industry, so we definitely want to add a new category here. So to do that, I click New, and here we could go ahead and have the category name be Web Design. Save that here. And under a subcategory, if we wanted to add a subcategory, we would click New again. And here, under the category, you go ahead and add a subcategory as Custom Web Designs. And go ahead and click Save. Now I can add this subcategory by dropping down this menu, clicking the subcategory I just used, and then this little link on the side here, clicking Add, and now you'll see that subcategory has been added to this entry. So I'm going to go ahead and click Save now that we're done with all of those fields. And now I'm going to save the changes to the directory and then go ahead and preview. And now you'll see we have two different businesses in our directory. And when you are ready to add another business listing, again, you would go ahead and click on Edit Page, and then Post Entry. and repeat the steps. And you can just keep on adding entries and enjoy your directory.